come up with names that felt really familiar and really strange at the same time, so I'll try and combine words and prefixes and suffixes and names. Like I, started with Robin, or Robin being a very traditional fairy name, and then just tried messing around with the name so it would be pronounced a little bit different, and it would, it would not feel like one, like it had some particular culture that it was coming out of, because I really wanted to free my fairies from being from one specific place, even though I was using a lot of things from Celtic folklore. I wanted to also draw from other folklores and try and free it a little bit from one.
If you could change one thing about any of your books, what would it be? Funny thing about that is that I actually continue to change things about my books all the time. There's such a thing called reprints, and that's when they print your book again, and in the interim period between your book, one reprint and another, you can make changes to it, and I torture my editor and her assistant all the time with lists of things that I want changed and fixed and whatnot, so I'm a believer that fiction is fluid going forward. It's sort of a quantum series, maybe different at any time. They won't let you change really huge things, but they'll generally let you change minor stuff. So I suppose if you were very carefully comparing editions of it, you would notice some small things that are changed.
I think I have changed. Yeah, I have at times been told to stop changing things, but you can only change fairly small things. So when I think about big changes, I think the thing is I try really hard not to let my brain go down that path, because when you're writing a book, everything is really fluid, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's really hard to read your own writing the way you read fiction. And it's really hard for me to consider what I wrote as being like definitive. When I read a book, I think, great, that's what happened. Period. And when I look at my own stuff, I think, well, it didn't have to happen that way. And so I try so hard not to let myself start thinking that way, or I will go absolutely crazy. But it's why, if I were ever to read, if anyone were ever to write a story in my world, it would seem more true than what I wrote. Because it would be fixed in a way that I know that my stuff isn't.